eventually we get to a moment where Michael Cole announces that, hey, we found a VCR so we can finally play this. And we see a sit-down interview between Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas.
This was.
And let me tell you something.
Focus.
This had to be by far some of the best, I don't even know, quality segments that WWE has done in years. And I'm going to say years, because this had so many layers to it that it's like you almost have to watch it multiple times to even really, because like I don't know if I even heard or understood or like remember everything that happened in this interview, because I was so sucked into the fact that this was happening. And you know, I was a little caught off guard about Uncle Howdy being like, how did you feel when your brother died? You know, like just straight up. Yeah, like I was so in awe of this. And I think that this kind of settled a lot of any concerns that some people had, whether it be about Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, the Wyatt Six in general, or anything about, you know, the fact that he had to address anyone trying to imply that he was just trying to profit off of his brother's death or was trying to take over something his brother started for his own personal gain. If you're that much of a psychopath to actually think that, feel free to click off this video because like
you're not going to enjoy what we have to say after this.
Like, yeah, you don't know the Rotunda brothers if you would legitimately think any of that would be true. So the fact that they addressed that, I think that was brilliant. And I think that this gave so much more to their story, because now you understand why Bo is doing this, you know, or like what his motivation is. You understand his mindset, his emotional set, whatever, you know, like his wherever he's at emotionally. And I feel like this kind of proved that they are going to go a little bit less supernatural, which is something that we've been talking about or people have been alluding to, but there was nothing supernatural about this.
No, this was all psychological. This was one of the more unbelievably done psychological segments we've seen, because it felt real. It really felt that Bo was looking into a mirror.
Yes.
And talking to himself, and the questions that Uncle Howdy was asking were not your wrestling storyline type questions. They were real ass questions that you ask to like Taylor. You like that you were asking
probably things that he's asked himself, like when considering if this is the right thing for him to do.
And the emotion that he had when answering, and just you felt it. I like, there's no words to put together to describe it except that you felt everything that he was feeling there, and the words he was saying, that nobody on this earth has suffered more than me since his death, you know, and you know, to be, and then the other big quote being how we were there and then it was taken away. Like, everyone's been there in anything with, and just had one of their loved ones or someone taken away from them, you know, and it makes no sense. Like, that's, you feel that, and that's what they're doing with the Wyatt Six. I would love this to be something that all 6 or 5 do. I mean, they're going to be different. They're going to be very different answers, very different interview styles, but that type of thing where you just get these random videos. Maybe it's, you know, you give it a Michael Cole or Pat McAfee this week, and next week it's like, oh, something's going on in the truck, or like, they need to do this to introduce every member so that you don't just have them come out and it's like, oh, that's Dexter Lumis, it says Mercy. Oh, that's no, they have to have some sort of, in a weird way, personality with them so that they can become actual figures on your screen.
Well, and I think we need to hear why and how they got to this point. You know what I mean? Where they're wearing the masks and like they're joining together. Like they're not all they're all mourning Bray's death in their own way, obviously, but not in the same way that his own brother is, you know? And like that's not going to be the common denominator between them. They weren't all affected the same way, but it's like, okay, what if we got a Nikki Cross versus like the sister Abigail Nikki like interviewing each other? Maybe it would become redundant and it wouldn't be as effective for people, but I still think that if we got a little bit more of a backstory to why they got to this point or what is drawing them together would make it so much more interesting as a fan to watch. But then I think it would make it a lot easier for anyone who might be on the fence about how well this group is going to be or the storyline is going to be, or maybe there's a couple people that feel I can't be as interested in this because it's not the same without Bray and I don't want to watch this, blah 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 blah. Like I feel like that could kind of make it a little bit easier for them to actually get invested.